Hey!
What's up, Internet? My name's David Webb.
I'm Arielle Edwards.
We get nerdy nightly.
And we thought we'd share it with you.
That's right. Again. It is another episode of the Nightly Morning Show. Here on twitch.tv/nerdynightly. We stream this show live Monday through Friday every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. So please come join us on Twitch. If you'd like to be in the chat that you can see just right over here on this side of my wife. Oh!
Well done. That was a 10 out of 10 idea. And now that's going to be immortalized on YouTube forever. Thank God.
I'm so glad that went worse than I thought it was going to. Welcome back, everyone. Today we have...
It's fine, I'm just wet.
We have some fun... You're so wet, too. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
And you can't do anything about it, because you're not wearing a shirt under that. What kind of tea was that?
It's a green passion fruit.
Green passion fruit.
Thank you, Miller & Moshin, because it's my favorite.
Our couch is going to smell wonderful. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of great news to talk about today. Not really great news, actually. Some really weird news.
Yeah, all over the place news.
It's going to be a weird show. Mm-hmm. But the first thing that we wanted to do is take a moment here on the Nightly Morning Show to talk about how wonderful our community is.
Yes. We've said this many times, but we have the best community, and we have proof. We have physical proof of that.
For those of you who don't know, we got married September 20th. 2020, just a little over a month from right now. Mm-hmm. And the really wonderful thing about getting married is getting to see the support of the people in your life. Mm-hmm. The people who show up to support you when you get married is the best part of it, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And knowing how much the community that you have in person, or maybe your community on Twitch, wants you to succeed together. And we have this amazing, supportive group of people online who came together. I want to shout them out. If you could shout them out, Dagon, you're one of them, so shout yourself out. shout out Scary Daydream, shout out Mad Lad Scanny, and shout out Funky Bunt Cake, because they got together after our wedding and made us the most amazing Twitch profile picture. Here it is now. Look at that. So it's cute. Us on our wedding day. This art was based on a photo from our wedding photos taken by the incredible Where the Wild Hearts Go?
Where Wild Hearts Go.
Where Wild Hearts Go. An Alberta photographer who did she actually hired us for a shoot that we ended up using as our engagement shoot. And we loved working with her so much that we hired her again to do the wedding. And she did such an incredible job. And our good friends...
I shouted out.
Our good friends here on Twitch made us this incredible logo. If you're listening to this on the podcast feed, it is a picture of me with Arielle over my shoulder.
Our classic pose.
We'll post it in the Twitter. If you're listening, please go to our Twitter at Nerdy Nightly.
We love it.
Take a look at this, because we're so
we love it so much.
We're so grateful, and it's just the generosity is wild.
It's perfect. We love it, and that you guys put that together and took the time and effort and everything, and it just. It means so much to us.
It really does. And so we just want to thank the four of you so much. This is the sweetest wedding gift. And we love it. Yeah. And now it's time to talk about the nerd news. Mm-hmm. Because
about us.
We got a big story at the top of the day here.
We do.
Yeah, we do. Right?
Yes.
Right?
We do.
Which one do you want to go with?
We're not sure which was the big one?
The big story, let's start there. The big story of the day is we got the announcement that Simon Kinberg has been tapped to write and produce a Battlestar Galactica movie?
Yeah. So tell us, what other work has he done?
Well, most recently, Simon Kinberg wrote and directed Dark Phoenix, I want to call it the final installment in the Fox X-Men universe, but New Mutants is technically the final installment in that, even though it's not connected.
Before?
Yeah, but it came out after.
Yeah.
Very complicated.
Very complicated. It's
The one thing we can say about the X-Men Foxiverse, it never really, like, made sense.
No.
It was always too complicated. Even as someone who, like, reads the comics and is, like, very aware of all these characters, the X-Men movies have always kind of been the ones where I'm like, wait, that's not what happened in okay, we're just gonna ignore the films.
Yeah. I mean, there is suspending your disbelief, and then there is not making any sense at all. And as someone who didn't read the comics, I didn't see Dark Phoenix, but I saw, which one was the other one he did?
He's worked on almost all of them.
Almost all of them.
Yeah,
I don't like most of them.
The first one I believe the first one he wrote was The Last Stand, X3, which is also X-Men Dark Phoenix. The confusing thing about the Dark Phoenix movie, to me, is that they were like, okay, we have Sansa Stark herself, Sophie Turner, playing Phoenix. We have this incredible young actress, redhead, everything you want in a Jean Grey. Let's do Dark Phoenix. Who do we get to do it? You know what? There was this guy who 16 years ago fucked up the Dark Phoenix saga really bad once. What if we let him do it again? And you know what?
And he did. He did not disappoint.
That's what he did. He really, really messed it up. That movie is bad.
Yeah.
And it's I don't even mind spoiling this. I'm just going to do it. In the trailer for the movie, they straight up spoil the scene where Mystique dies in the film. Like, they put out a trailer, and there's no way to talk about it without talking about it. But they had such... I think they just had such little faith in this movie from a marketing perspective that they were like, oh, whatever, just... That's one of the few interesting things that happened, so just put that in the trailer. And everyone watching the trailer was like, why is this here?
Yeah.
I want to see this in the movie. Like, it was the most baffling...
Bizarre. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still don't know what they were thinking on that one. And yeah, so he's going to be doing Battlestar Galactica, which I know is beloved by many.
Have you seen it?
I have not seen the show the full way through. My parents used to watch it and love it.
The original or the reboot?
The reboot.
Yeah.
Although they probably watched the original as well. But it was just, when I was in high school, I just had almost no time for TV. And so I would catch bits of it here or there when they had it on. But I never actually got to watch the full thing through, which kind of sucks because it actually looked very interesting to me. And I know a lot of people really love the show. It's well done, well acted. And so it's on my list, my very long list, of things to watch. And so I don't know how people are going to feel about this...
Yeah, I mean, I would love a chat. I would love to know how many of you watched Battlestar Galactica, because I've seen a little bit of the original series, and I've watched all of the reboot, and the reboot is phenomenal television. The reboot is really, really, really phenomenal television. Edward James Olmos is one of the most just remarkable captains of a ship in any media. I think that I put Edward James Olmos in that show up there with Picard in Next Generation. He has that same sort of class and command. It really is quite wonderful.
Yeah.
My question...
one second. Dagon, no, yeah, Dark Dispatch is my aunt. So she literally means that my mother watched the original. I just want to clear that up.
So the show is excellent, and it's so the reboot is so good that I don't want them to ever touch the property again. Well,
so here's the thing: so the original, did they just reboot it and do the exact same story and everything, but like update it? Or are they kind of different?
They're different.
Could this movie be based on the original and not the reboot?
No, they're sort of the same.
Okay.
But there's definitely differences. I think that what the reboot handles better is the relationships between the characters. Also, just the time span between the two shows. Because it is a science fiction series, the graphics and ability for the Cylons in particular to be more threatening because visually they're not as clunky is really impressive in the reboot. The enemies in the reboot are scary characters.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I remember being scared. Like, they freaked me out from what little I saw.
If you want to watch Battlestar Galactica the movie, watch Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Because that's the premise of... Like, when Last Jedi came out, and I was in theaters watching it, and slight spoilers for it, I guess, but the main centerpiece of the movie is this very slow chase through space. Where the Empire, or the First Order, is chasing the New Republic.
Yes.
And the New Republic is just out of reach, right? For the entire movie. And it cuts to the ship, and the New Republic people are on the ship being like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
The whole movie. That is the premise of Battlestar Galactica.
Yes.
And so when Last Jedi came out, everyone was basically like, cool, so this is Battlestar Galactica, the movie. And it doesn't work as a movie, right? Because there's no tension in it being a 90-minute chase.
Yeah.
The tension of Battlestar Galactica and what the reboot does so well is you're watching these characters break down because they're being hunted for so long.
Yeah.
It is the like interminable, never being safe.
Yeah.
For ever.
Yeah.
And there's an episode of Battlestar Galactica, I believe it's called 33 Minutes. It's either the second or third episode of the first season of the reboot. And I honestly believe it is top 10 episodes of television of all time.
Wow.
I think it's one of the best made hours of entertainment that you could possibly watch. And if you're thinking about watching the reboot and you don't want to start at the beginning, you want to start with the best episode near the beginning, watch 33 Minutes. That episode, that episode can't be a whole movie, right? Even though it's a perfect storyline. But it also can't really be like 10 minutes of a movie because it can't be just 10 minutes of a movie because you don't get the character interactions.
Yes.
So I don't know how you take this concept of Battlestar Galactica and make it into a movie.
Yeah.
Without it being like the prequel show to the Cylon War or like something like that.
Yeah, like hopefully it's kind of the same universe and not the exact same story just told into a movie. Because I don't really know why you would want to do that. Like, the show was successful and people loved it. Why does it need to be a movie? I think I'm hoping that maybe it's additional content to the universe and not...
Yeah, maybe.
We're going to do this thing again, just shorter.
Yeah, the weird thing is I've been hearing that they're making a new Battlestar Galactica series. So it is weird to hear this on the heels of those rumors. But those, again, were rumors. So... Yeah. You know, who actually knows what's going to end up happening.
Yeah.
I think that it would be unfortunate for Simon Kinberg to mess up another franchise.
Yep.
BlindSeer is saying Battlestar Galactica Lower Decks. I would love that. I would love a crude R-rated animated show in the Battlestar Galactica franchise.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, it definitely would. He also says a remake of Caprica, which is the prequel series to Battlestar Galactica, which would I honestly think that setting a movie there makes more sense than setting it in the timeline of when the reboot of Battlestar Galactica takes place. And I'm not familiar with the entirety of the original series, so I don't know if there's room in there for the movie to be. But I also wonder, like, do you bring in a new cast? And, you know, for it to be a movie, there's going to have to be bigger action set pieces. Are we essentially going to get the Star Trek 2009 of Battlestar Galactica?
Yeah.
Where all the Battlestar Galactica fans say it's not Battlestar Galactica. Because, you know, that's what Star Trek is. Like, you know, there's the Kelvin timeline to a lot of Star Trek fans isn't Star Trek.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I love those movies.
Yeah, I enjoy them for what they are.
But I don't know. I don't know how people are going to respond to this, and
yeah,
I think it's a really tough sell.
Yeah, I need more information. Right now, I'm not now. Right now, I have no opinion, kind of one way or the other. I just know it's a thing that's kind of happening, but I don't know any details about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I kind of need to know what it's about, or a trailer, or something like that, or at least more information. Because I just don't know. Like right now, I'm like I wouldn't hop out to go see it.
I would.
Just because I don't know.
I would go out to see anything at this point.
I know.
If you tell me there's a new movie in theaters and it's safe to go to the theaters, I'm there. I'm so...
Oh my goodness.
Cappy Archer said, have you played the tabletop Battlestar Galactica game?
No.
So damn fun. I don't know it, Cappy, but I would love to play it. That sounds very fun. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of this franchise, and I hope that I hope they find success and make something of this.
Maybe this is his big redemption. Maybe he like knocks it out of the park.
You know what? I would love that.
Yeah, that would be really nice.
He was a writer on X-Men Days of Future Past, so it's not like he's never written any good movies. His last film was sort of such a weird...
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fair. I just want to... Muddles did ask us earlier, and I just wanted to bring it up. If they did more Addams Family, would we want to be Gomez and Morticia?
No. Gomez is a Hispanic man. Yeah. And I think that it's time that white men stop playing Gomez Addams. And look, this... Muddles, I don't know if you saw this, but we are actually getting a new Addams Family TV show. This is something we should talk about. Well, we are getting a new... Yeah, a second bit of news. Let's move on from Battlestar Galactica. We're getting a Addams Family TV show. Okay, if you had to pick one person in Hollywood to make an Addams Family TV show, who would it be?
To make it?
Yeah, to be like the creative mind behind it. Who is the most Addams Family human? And there's kind of two right answers. The first one that pops into my head is Tim Burton. Yep, that's it. That's it? Yeah, Tim Burton is making an Addams Family TV show. Doug Thuriolu nailed it.
Oh my god, that was literally the first thing that came to mind. And then I was like, I don't know who else.
Yeah, Doug Thuriolu was saying the last two people who played him on film were Oscar Isaac and Raul Julia. True. But when it was on Broadway, Gomez, the musical on Broadway, was played only by white men, and it was very weird. Yeah. But Muddles, I would love to play an interesting character like Gomez, but I'm not interested in playing a Hispanic character. I think that we should leave that to Latinx people. There are so many talented Latinx people that I just think there's no reason.
Yeah. There's other stuff for you to do,
we both think that representation and diversity are very important and are not interested in messing around with that. Yeah. But I think that you would make a really hot Morticia if you were taller.
That's fair. You know what? That is fair.
I'm pretty sure that you, as a full human, could fit in Morticia Addams' cleavage.
Yeah, most likely. When I was in theater school, I got told a lot that I was like a Wednesday Addams vibe. Mm-hmm.
You would be a good Wednesday.
Yeah. Yeah. It would be that is a show that I would love to be a part of one day. The musical or otherwise. But yeah, I think Morticia or Wednesday would actually be really fun characters to play. Like either one of them. But yeah.
Muddles says, are we going for Antonio Banderas? And Muddles, I can only dream. I think that Antonio Banderas, maybe he might be a little too old now, depending on where they're placing the show. Because if Wednesday and Pugsley are as young as they usually are, you don't want their dad to be super old. It's always weird when the dad is like 75, the mom is like 40, and then the kids are like 10, and you're like, what happened here? Like, this is a mess. Yeah. But Antonio Banderas is the sexiest man. And
oh yeah, he's straight up daddy.
He's a daddy. He is a daddy. Yeah. Yeah, Antonio is 60 now. He could pull it off.
Yeah, it depends, like you said, where they go and, how they make him up to be. Like, because if Morticia and and Gomez were like, looks like they were around the age of maybe like 50.
Mm-hmm. Or even, you know what? I think it would be interesting if you aged up Wednesday to 20 and
20.
Pugsley to 18. Mm-hmm. And I think it would be really interesting to do something different, because Wednesday and Pugsley are always the same age.
Yeah.
And it's always a little like, okay, yeah, we're doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. I think that if you put Wednesday in college and Pugsley like about to graduate high school, and then Antonio Banderas being 60 with a 20-year-old daughter, that's not as weird.
Yeah.
Having a kid at 40 is not crazy, you know? But, yeah, I don't know. Oscar Isaac in live action can nail the role. He was so good in that animated movie that came out a couple of years ago. Oscar Isaac voiced Gomez in the Addams Family that came out 2 years ago. It was an animated film. It was a little too kid-friendly for me. But the voice acting in it was really, really solid, and there were some really, really funny jokes. I think Addams Family is a tough franchise to do.
Yeah, because there's, do you go kid friendly or do you go full adult, because there's so much of both in it in a way that does make things kind of complicated.
Well, and like Gomez and Morticia are so horny all the time.
Yeah.
But I don't mean that as a joke. I mean, literally, like, that is their characters. They're, like, sniffing each other in the hallway.
Yeah.
And you're like... This isn't a kid's movie. Like, Hammond Taters brings up that Angelica Houston nailed it as Morticia. She totally did. Oh, yeah. But when I saw those movies as a kid, those kids' movies that had the parents that were, like, humping each other, basically, everywhere they went, I was like, holy shit, like... The Broken Pirate says they are attracted to each other, to each their partner, though. There's a difference between being attracted to your partner and, like... But, like, you do that to me, and it's not normal. It's not weird.
It's not.
If we had two kids in the room, and we were like, oh, and, like, all up on each other, people would be like, hey, maybe don't do that in front of your kids.
Yeah, it's yeah.
I don't have a problem with it. It's just when I was, like, 6 watching those movies, I was like, This is my parents don't do that in front of me. I like catch them doing it sometimes, but they don't do it in front of me. It's not normal.
Oh God.
Cappy Archer says, I love the 90s movies because they really skirt the line. That's true. And that's
what's fun about it.
If someone's gonna skirt the line, it's Tim Burton.
Oh yeah. No, I'm very excited for this. I did not know this was happening, and I can't wait.
Tim Burton gets a lot of credit, but he doesn't get enough credit. His movies, like, what's the Paranorman? Paranorman doesn't get enough credit.
Which one is that?
It's the one where the boy brings his dog back to life. It's stop motion animation.
Oh, I don't know that
It's one of the most incredibly made movies. The stop motion animation in it is just... It's just so good.
Hammond Tater says Paranorman wasn't Tim Burton.
Paranorman wasn't Tim Burton? Did he not produce that film? Am I crazy?
I'm
embarrassed.
The last Tim Burton movie I saw was like a weird, like, it was like Coffins movie or something like that.
Coffins?
Like, it was like, I can't remember. Directors Chris Butler and Sam Fell.
I thought that Paranorman... Oh, Frankenweenie. That's what I'm thinking about. Yeah, the one where the boy brings the dog back to life is Frankenweenie, not Paranorman.
Okay. I was like,
Paranorman's the one where the kids have to fight the ghosts.
The last Tim Burton movie I saw, let me see if I can find it. Tim Burton,
The standards for sex in Europe and other places are quite different. That's true, John. European television, BlindSeer in our chat said that. European television has far less violence and far more, like, intimacy and sexuality. Paranorman is also underrated, but you guys are right. Frankenweenie is the movie that I'm thinking about. Dark Shadows. Did anyone see the movie Dark Shadows?
Yeah, I think that was the last one that I saw. The last movie
Johnny Depp.
And it was like...
It's that one's a weird film because they were adapting a... not a rom-com. What are those? A soap opera from the 1950s or 60s.
Oh.
So Dark Shadows is based on a soap opera that had like vampires and witches in it. And so they were riding a really weird line of trying to make this like modern movie, but also like pay homage to the source material for it, and it really worked for me. Like, I was like, this is such a bonkers, like, funny adventure in this world of like these
like,
weird characters.
I remember being very confused. So that one I saw in the theaters, and I was like, what?
Yeah, it really, like, if I'd gone in not knowing that it was what it was based on, I'd been like, why did you choose this tone?
Yeah.
But because I knew the soap opera that it was based on, I was like, this is a really, like, funny modern movie version of this.
That is fair. See, I went in without having any context and being like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
The Broken Pirates says, because Tim Burton's directing it, Johnny Depp may end up being Gomez. No,
I think, we can.
And I'm not a Johnny Depp hater. I'm really not. No. I just don't want Gomez to be played by a white dude.
Yeah, come on, guys. Also,
preferably, I would enjoy it if the children were Latinx kids.
Yeah.
It makes sense for Gomez's kids to also be Hispanic.
Yeah.
So, but maybe not Latinx. I think that Gomez can be Spanish. Like, if he's a Spaniard Spanish.
Yeah.
I think that there is something sort of European and debonair about him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I would like it if these characters who by their names have this racial identity, if they could be played by people who also have that racial identity.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hopeful, like, especially I'm hopeful that that's something that they take into consideration.
Yeah, I think they
I think that they will. I am hopeful. That sounds like a really fun thing. Like, I would love for that to be my Friday night. You know what I mean?
I think we're beyond the point that companies can get away with it now. I think that
I hope so.
You have to be so tone deaf and demented, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, it's everywhere. And the voices in sport are so loud. Like, you would have to really be, like, hermited in a way that is impossible if you're making movies. Mm-hmm. Cheers, Dagon.
And you, like, honestly, like, these companies that are still making these weird racial choices...
Why?
They're not working out. Like, none of these films that have had these controversies lately have made money. So, it's literally, it's at a point now where I'm like, do you not realize it's bad for business?
Yeah, like, come on.
Unless you are literally like, no, I am a racist and I don't want to have people of color in my films, then stop making then don't write characters of color, I guess. But also, like, if you're a racist, don't make movies. Just get out of the industry. We don't want you. I'm sorry, but we don't. Like, it's so bizarre. Mm-hmm. It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
Plus, John is saying there aren't a lot of well-known leading men roles that are Hispanic like Gomez, and that's so true. Like, there aren't a lot of franchises that would have an opportunity like this for a Gomez.
Yeah.
For a Hispanic leading man to really shine. Mm-hmm. And, like, we talk about, like, Antonio Banderas and Oscar Isaac, but I think that there's also a lot of lesser-known, really incredible Latinx men out there who could take this role and, become the next Oscar Isaac or something like that.
Totally.
Especially in television. Oscar Isaac's probably not going to do a TV show at this point. You know what I mean? He's busy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of these bigger actors who would prefer to do a movie.
And honestly, like, you know what? If you find somebody new, that's also really exciting. Like, maybe they go in the other direction, and, like, Pugsley's, like, 2. You know what I mean?
Oh, he's so young.
Like, he's like a baby.
But he's still blowing everything up.
Yeah, like he's like kind of like Jack in the Incredibles vibes, like where it's just that like shit gets crazy.
Hilarious.
You know what I mean? That could be really interesting. So maybe they'll go. Yeah, I don't know. That would be fun to see. I would watch that.
I've always had this weird idea in my head that you could do like a flashback to Gomez and Morticia when they're like dating. And they introduce the human whose hand becomes thing.
Oh boy, yeah.
And he like his hand gets cut off, and they like reanimate it in a seance, and it comes back to life as thing. That's right. Thing's name is thing.
Oh god. Mm-hmm. What a choice!
I just think it would be funny.
That would be fun.
I have all these ideas in my head of like Gomez and Morticia's like You could almost do a TV show in my head that's like them meeting in college up until like 7 seasons, up until they get pregnant with Wednesday.
Yeah.
And like the show is literally like their weird courtship.
Yeah.
Because they're both such interesting characters with how dark they are and their sense of humor and their very healthy but odd relationship. Mm-hmm. I feel like you could show a really interesting relationship dynamic of how a couple develops that and gets to the point where they're so comfortable with each other and so honest with each other. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, and Cappy Archer says we could learn about the relatives I always talk about. Like, I almost think that Wednesday and Pugsley kind of muddy up the What Addams Family a little bit.
Yeah.
Because there's only so many stories you can tell about kids.
Yeah.
It becomes harder. Also, nowadays, a live action show that has kids in that much like physical danger would probably have some pushback to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so having all the characters be adults in a way, either by aging up Wednesday and Pugsley or by going before they're born, could get around some of that. Yeah. You know, we were listening to a Dungeons and Daddies episode, a podcast that we're really big fans of. And at the beginning of one of the episodes, they were like, hey, trigger warning, there is violence towards a child at this moment in this episode. Yeah. Just to be very clear before you listen to it. Yeah. And so I really think that, you know, that's something that people care a lot more about now. Yeah. And they might take seriously in a show like this. You can get away with it in animated, but live action, it's hard. Yeah, and it's something you do want to like take into consideration. The playmat says, "Are we going to get the CW version of the Addams Family?" No, it's Tim Burton. He wouldn't. No. I highly doubt that. I can't remember where this is going, but I think it's HBO Max maybe, or it's not going to be on television. It'll be on a streaming series for sure. That's no television channel is putting enough money into these shows to get Tim Burton. Yeah. Only streaming services are willing to spend this kind of cash now. Mm-hmm. Speaking of streaming television, though, we also, in a similar vein to the Addams Family, we have another show that has been announced. Mm-hmm. Scarlet Johansson, the famed actress from such hit movies as Ghost in the Shell, and Lucy. Lucy was actually a hit. Lucy did actually make money. It did? Oh, wow. But she's going to be starring... No, I brought up Ghost in the Shell because we were talking about inappropriate racial castings earlier. Ghost in the Shell, no. Scarlett Johansson is going to be starring in the new series for Apple TV Plus, which is a service that we have access to but have never once watched. No. I got a year for free when I bought my iPad. Okay. Yeah. So how long do we have to watch anything on it? Like 3 more months, I think. Great. Or no, I bought my iPad in October. By the end of the month. Great. We have 8 days. She's going to be starting a show called The Bride for Apple TV Plus. When I first heard that she was on a show called The Bride, my first thought was, very cool. Quentin Tarantino is making a television series out of Kill Bill, because the character in Kill Bill, oh my god, what is her name? Her character's name is The Bride. But that's not what this is, unfortunately. Oh. No. I was like, what? What this is The Bride of Frankenstein, the television show. But the premise is that they want to take Frankenstein's monster out of it and make it more about the bride and make it more of a like female-led series. But my question is, if the monster isn't there, why is she called... How do you have the bride? The bride? Why isn't she just Frankenstein's monster then? I'm so confused. If there's not a man and a woman, she doesn't need to be the bride. Just call it Frankenstein's monster and have Frankenstein's monster be a woman. There's literally no reason for her to be called the bride now. Because she's not the bride to anyone if the monster isn't there. That's so confusing. Why would you do that? I don't know. What? I don't know. Like, okay. Because the press... Uma Thurman, thank you, John. Uma Thurman played the bride in Kill Bill. Yes. But this is not a Kill Bill. This is the Bride of Frankenstein, except she's not a bride to anyone, which means she is just Frankenstein's monster because she's not married. Unless Dr. Frankenstein is marrying... Ooh, Miller brings up a good point. Is she the bride of Dr. Frankenstein who he brings back to life? I guess that's how they would go with it, because otherwise I'm very confused. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just the beginning phases of this. They just announced it. They're not filming yet, so maybe it's going in a direction and like it will make sense.
Yeah.
I think here's what I think it is. I think this is a cool show. I like the idea of a Scarlet Johansson show where she's a zombie woman who's maybe dangerous, maybe not.
Okay, yeah.
Questionable. There's like interesting morality tale. I think it's a bad title.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's not a good title.
Yeah, that is very confusing to me.
Because it doesn't sell me on it. I don't know.
Yeah, The Bride. I'm like, skip. Like, literally, like, I would probably just, like, skip over that one.
I mean, it's on Apple TV Plus, so everyone's going to skip over it.
Wolf.
Here's the thing. Apple TV Plus is the most confusing streaming service to me. Because they spend so much money getting the biggest stars in the world to make these shows. And then nobody watches them.
Yeah.
I think people watched... What is The Morning Show?
Oh, that was Apple.
That was Apple TV Plus, yeah.
Okay, I do know a few people who watched that.
I think a few people watched that because that came out during the like free trial period.
Yeah.
But ever since The Morning Show, I haven't heard anything about a show on it, honestly.
Yeah.
And I'm just really I don't know, it's just a weird like world. Apple TV Plus. There's so many streaming services that there's like a few that I'm like, why are you part of this?
Yeah.
For instance, one that we just got some news about, Quibi.
Quibi, unfortunately, has announced that it is done. After raising almost $2 billion, they're done. They announced that they are shutting down.
Yeah, after 6 months.
After 6 months. And yeah, it's no longer going to be a thing, which is... Like, I mean, a lot of people were like, this is a dumb idea. And I don't know if it's because Quibi itself wasn't very good or because of the pandemic and, like, new regulations and how to make things. So Quibi's thing was that we talked about this because I was a little unclear as well. I was like, I don't understand this. They're like, it's like having Netflix, but instead of, like, hour-long episodes, they're, like, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, they're very, very, like, short episodes in a series as opposed to on a bigger scale.
Well, so Quibi's... The idea behind Quibi was essentially they wanted to create content for a viewership that was on the move. So the idea behind it would be like, you're out all the time, you have your phone with you, but you don't always have your TV with you, and maybe you don't want to watch a 42-minute television show on your phone. What if we gave you a 10-minute television show for your phone? And so they were doing an interesting idea, right? Like, everyone watches content on their phone now. Everyone loves a 10 to 20-minute YouTube video. Yeah. That seems to be the sweet spot for people's attention. Yeah. There's a reason why the Bakes videos are between 10 and 15 minutes. Yeah. Like, there's a reason why we make content that we try and hit that sweet spot for things.
Yeah.
That seems to be a length of time that people enjoy watching content on their phone, right? Mm-hmm. Quibi's idea was, let's make content specifically for that, but let's give it Netflix quality. Let's
put more money
Amazon
into
Prime
it,
quality,
make it good.
Stars. And then what happened next was the pandemic hit right after they announced. Yeah. And so suddenly this app that might have been a success. Yeah, Rebel Trooper One says, I understand their intentions, but I think they got ran over by the pandemic. They launched when no one was going outside. Yeah. No one needed 10-minute episodes on the go because we are all home all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, there was no reason for it. They kind of got screwed over.
100%.
And so we may never know if...
it was a bad case of timing.
It was a bad case of timing. I don't think we'll ever know if that business model would be successful because I have a feeling... people aren't going to touch it again, especially because we don't know what our new normal looks like after the pandemic. Maybe a lot more people work from home. And in fact, they probably will. And so those like on-the-go type things, I don't know if anyone will be brave enough to go back to it. Because, they raised, I think it was $1.8 billion, which Dark Dispatch said, can someone give you guys $2 billion to entertain us? And that would be nice.
I mean, I would take any amount of money.
Yeah, literally.
we
It doesn't need to be in the billions.
We technically do the show for free, so.
No, that would be nice. But I it's kind of unfortunate that I think the pandemic killed this business model, and we may never know if it would have ever been successful.
It wouldn't have been.
You don't think so?
Nah. People don't want to pay for things.
Yes.
If Netflix was like, we have Netflix shorts, and for the amount of money that you already pay Netflix, you also have access to these short things that you can watch on the go, it would be successful.
That's
no
true.
one wants to pay an additional $6 to
You're
have
right.
access to less quality content.
You're right. I wouldn't pay for it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People just need to call me about things. Seriously, entertainment industry, if you have new ideas, just call me and I will tell you exactly why it's not going to work.
Yeah. But
I could have saved you $2 billion.
Yeah. But hey, you make a good point. Maybe this is a mantle that Netflix might experiment in, or Amazon Prime. Because if you're already making that quality of content, I don't know, maybe they might make a few shows that have those short little bursts of content and see how they do.
I think a better idea than making a separate show with short content would be to start by making short content versions of the shows that are about to come out. And so
like how there were like short treks.
Yeah.
So it's like Star Trek that everybody knows, but they did a short trek that was like 10 to 15 minutes long.
Yeah, or like television shows, when the internet first started to get big, when YouTube first started to get big, there were a lot of television shows that did webisodes between seasons.
Right.
And so, like, I remember kids shows do this all the time. Rebels had these great, in between the episodes, they would do these mini adventures with the robot. Oh my god, with the droid. What's the... Not...
Peep It?
No, in Rebels.
Oh, I was like...
Not Claptrap, that's Borderlands. Why can't I think of that? No, it's not okay. This is bad.
Oh no.
Oh my god, Robbie's gonna be so upset with me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's not Clanker. It's a C name though. Chopper. They would do these like mini episodes with Chopper in between seasons to keep the kids interested before the next season comes out, right? It really works. And I think that if you wanted to have 10-minute content, I would have it be like in between the seasons of Sabrina. Here are some 10-minute episodes about like what happened to this character in that episode that you never saw.
Right.
Why were they not there? And you could put that out as these short content pieces. Mm-hmm. It gets really complicated with actors' salaries and stuff. And how do you pay people for those? And how does that work out with the union as far as health insurance and stuff like that? But if you were going to try and make shorter content, I think that would be a better way to go than, say...
Trying to make a brand new series. Yeah.
Then say, hi, this is the show where Anna Kendrick becomes friends with a sex doll.
Yeah.
Only on Quibi.
Yeah.
Wait, why did that show fail?
Beats me. I don't know.
Here's the thing. There are... I don't know how to say this. There are a lot of projects that seem to come out based entirely on the idea that Anna Kendrick is so charming that it doesn't matter what she's in. We just need to put Anna Kendrick in something and it will be successful. And I love Anna Kendrick.
Yeah,
I think that she is
good.
Almost charming enough for that to be true. But it's not... There's no one who is good enough to sell everything. Even The Rock has flops. And people need to, like... Anna Kendrick's agents need to start, like, reading the scripts they send her.
Hey, maybe she really wanted to do it.
Maybe? I don't know. The last few things she's been in, I'm like...
What else has she been in recently?
Noelle for Disney Plus.
Oh, I did see an ad for that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's not that it's a bad movie. It's just that it's not a, like, cohesive film. And there's some really... There are a few really, really funny parts to it.
Yeah.
But they're tied together... They don't tie together well. And so they were like, oh, this is a funny idea, this is a funny idea, this is a funny idea. And so, like, the memorable parts of the movie are really good.
Yeah.
There are parts... Like, Bill Hader and Anna Kendrick's chemistry in that movie is really good. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't, like... really work the whole way through.
Okay.
And so it just kind of got really, it got a little weird. And there's like a whole, like, the Council of Elves is sexist storyline that's really odd in it. And it doesn't really tie into the, like, storyline of Bill Hader is supposed to be Santa Claus, but just wants to do yoga in Arizona. Like, it's a funny movie.
Okay.
But there's a lot of stuff that you're like, okay, cool.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. It's just odd. And it also falls into the world of, like, it's funny that Anna Kendrick is from the North Pole and she's in Arizona, but the way that it's funny is that she's just really dumb. And, like, she wears her Santa suit so she gets a heat rash. And I'm like, I get that she's from the North Pole, but you would think that she would get hot and take it off and not just get hot and be like, well, I'm just going to keep being miserable.
Yeah.
Because this is the only thing it's a film.
Okay. Okay.
But there's very funny parts to it. There's a lot of Anna Kendrick stuff that comes out that I'm like, I get it. You had Anna Kendrick, and so you made the thing. And she really is so good.
Oh my god.
But she deserves better material.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I you know what I want? I want Anna Kendrick to be Squirrel Girl in the Marvel Universe.
Oh my god.
Right? I think she would be a great Squirrel Girl. She has the right energy for it. I really do. I think if you're gonna cast Squirrel Girl, I think Anna Kendrick should be your number one choice.
All right.
Yeah, or Ellen Page. I think Ellen Page would be an interesting Squirrel Girl. She might be a little old now.
Okay.
But like Juno era Ellen Page would have been a really funny Squirrel Girl in like a West Coast Avengers kind of movie.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be very interesting. I would see that.
Rich Alpha Gaming, thank you for gifting that sub. Or no, that was your you subscribe yourself.
Today's snow is crippling much of the Washington lowlands.
You're
I'm so pale.
I'm so pale. Thank you for that subscription, my friend. Getting us one sub closer to that horror stream goal. Doug the Riolu says they did cast an MCU Squirrel Girl, but this show's in a weird spot if it'll be released. Doug, they made a pilot, but they never picked it up, from what I remember. But they filmed that a couple years ago now.
Yeah, I think that's...
It was going to be a comedy. It was going to be like a sitcom comedy version of the West Coast Avengers, and it did not work, apparently.
Yeah.
And now with Marvel moving... that was still when they were doing ABC television shows for Marvel, and now New Warriors, right. Now that Marvel is doing these Disney Plus Marvel shows... I just don't see something like that happening. They're going to stick to the WandaVisions, the bigger budgets.
Yes. Very excited for WandaVision.
Very excited for WandaVision.
Yeah. That'll be very good.
But if they do end up doing a Hawkeye show, which might still happen, it's sort of nebulous. Mm-hmm. The Hawkeye show would introduce Kate Bishop, and Kate Bishop could lead into West Coast Avengers, which would give us Squirrel Girl.
Oh my goodness.
I do. Doug Irelu says, I do love they're taking a lot of risks on smaller characters on Disney Plus shows. You're excited for WandaVision, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. We watched the trailer for that, and I was like, I need to see this. Mm-hmm. I was like, this looks so incredible and interesting. I cannot wait.
Yeah. The trailer's incredible.
Yeah. I haven't been that excited for a new show since like Amazon announced the Lord of the Rings series.
Yeah. Totally.
Like, honestly, I was like, this looks freaking dope. So I hope that it's good. And I love the characters. I love the idea of it. Mm-hmm. It looks well done. Yeah, it's all like a 5 out of 7 for me.
Straight 5 out of 7. Question. Just before we get into some like wrap up stuff here, because we have about 10 minutes left of the show. About 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings series coming to Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, based on an article I read, will have nudity in it. How do you feel about that?
I don't know if that's really enough information for me to... I don't have an immediate opinionated response to that. It definitely seems like, to me, my immediate thought is that they're trying to go more Game of Thrones, so less family friendly, obviously. Yeah, I feel like I need more for that. I'm not mad at it. But I would like to know what this television show rating is going to be.
Yeah, so because on Amazon Prime, they can do nudity. And it's not going to be the Lord of the Rings storyline. It's going to be set... It's set like hundreds of years.
Yeah, it's much before the Fellowship of the Ring
when
happens.
Galadriel was young.
Young.
The question for me is... So here's the thing. We both found Lord of the Rings when we were kids.
Yeah.
And we fell in love with that franchise as kids. Mm-hmm. And so I wonder if by taking this out, or putting this into the series for the first time, no previous J.R.R. Tolkien material have had nudity in them. Mm-hmm. I wonder if this is going to stop that like next generation of Lord of the Rings fans from appearing. Because what we've kind of seen with like Star Wars, right? Like every generation of Star Wars gets brought in by a different thing. Yeah. You know, you have your original series Star Wars fans, you have your prequel series Star Wars fans like me, I was 7 when... Yeah.
But then you also got your Clone Wars Rebels,
yeah,
like kids
Clone Wars Rebels, and then you have kids who were brought in by the sequels because it was their first Star Wars. Yeah. Rey is the first Jedi for a lot of Star Wars fans. Yeah. I wonder if we're not going to see that like generational Lord of the Rings fanship if we're going to make this for adults.
An older audience. Yeah, that's an interesting point. If that is the case, that would be unfortunate. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like that would kind of make me sad. But at the same time, well, but it's the same for other things. I was going to say, the Lord of the Rings movies are kind of timeless. Mm-hmm. You can watch them, like, we can watch them now and they hold up.
Yeah, they look unbelievable. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, they are done so impeccably.
Especially once that 4K Blu-ray set comes out.
Oh my god. Yeah, 100%. And so, that was not what came to mind when you said that. Mm-hmm. And... It also depends on the, like, violence level that they are going to go with. You know, how much, like, if we're going from, like, if the scale is from, like, you know, like, Game of Thrones to, like, the original Lord of the Rings, like, kind of, like, where does that air on as well? Because if it's super violent, that also is going to be a barrier for children watching it.
That's true.
Here's the thing. Tolkien wrote a kid's book, The Hobbit, and then he wrote The Lord of the Rings, which is not really a material that is suitable for children.
I read it when I was 6, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Most people didn't. Like, most people did not.
I know.
You are special.
I'm just a nerd.
Yeah.
Always been a nerd.
But his material, I don't think, apart from The Hobbit, was intended for kids, and so... You know, it might just be that they're trying to stay truer to that and make it less of an all ages thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think they might lose out on some audience members, or they might gain a new audience for people who maybe saw Game of Thrones but never saw Lord of the Rings, which I don't know if that's a thing, but...
I think it's interesting, right? Because when I was a kid, I was told that, like, orcs and goblins and fantasy was for kids.
Really?
Well, yeah, because, like you know, like, everyone was like, oh, no, you, like, grow out of, like, this stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, Star Wars is, like, nerd stuff is for kids. I was told my whole life that I would stop liking Pokemon at some point, and I don't. It hasn't happened. I don't know why. It's crazy. I have so many Pokemon cards and they're so expensive. When am I going to stop spending money on this shit? Seriously.
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry.
I know.
Here's the thing. I think that the universe of the Lord of the Rings has enough room for a more adult show, and maybe someone will pick up a more kid-friendly version. There are so many characters, whether or not in the original series or in the Silmarillion. There is so much lore in that world. Because BlindSeer says the Hobbit was written from the more innocent perspective of Bilbo, which, you know, is a bit more kid-friendly. Like, a character like that or a storyline like that, you can cater more towards children. But there are mature themes in Tolkien's material, and I think there's room in his universe for more mature content and more all ages stuff. So
I think the point where I was headed with that before I got bogged down in Pokemon was when I was a kid, there was fantasy for kids. Yeah. And there isn't anymore.
Yeah.
The last fantasy property made for kids, other than that, like, Kid Arthur movie that came out a couple of years with a kid drew Excalibur that I was the only person who saw, even though I loved that movie. More people should see that Kid Arthur movie. I don't know what it's called, but it's very good. I watched it on a plane, and I was like, this is dope. Why didn't I see this in theaters? Fantasy now is for adults. Like, the fantasy that we're making is all for adults. It has nudity in it. It's very violent. The dragons roast people alive. Yeah. Like, the fantasy I watched as kids isn't really being made anymore. That whole genre has become an adult genre. Even The Hobbit is kind of violent. Yeah. Like, it's, you know, it has more violent tendencies than, like, say, I'm not even sure, but Kazkill32 asked what television is there currently for children, and I would say that there's a lot. I think that there's a lot of really great animated stuff coming out these days. I don't know if it's necessarily for young kids. Like, Paw Patrol is more for, like, young kids, but for, like, that, like, 10-ish age, I think that, like, the Clone Wars is a really good show for 10 to 18-year-olds. Miller says How to Train Your Dragon has a TV series. No, it has, like, 5 TV series. Sorry. There are many. Yeah. Something with substance. I really liked the final season of Clone Wars. I thought that was very well done. I thought that that's very kid-friendly, the moral choices and stuff in that. It's a little dark, obviously, because everyone dies at the end, but Order 66. I do think that there's content being made for kids. I think even, like, something like The Mandalorian, to me, isn't an adult show. No, I think that definitely has room for a younger audience. Guillermo del Toro show on Netflix. Troll Hunters. Troll Hunters on Netflix is very, very good, I've heard. Interesting. And when was Korra made? Korra was a few years ago. Okay. Kazkill32 says maybe this is a hot take, but kids need a little dark because it doesn't hide the world. I agree with that, Kazkill. I just think that there's a line, right? Like, there's, like... Yeah, nudity in a Lord of the Rings series is definitely not kid-friendly, I would say. No. But having mature themes like Clone Wars does, you know, like those more complex storylines, I think is great. Yeah, the playmat's saying Avatar The Last Airbender. I think Avatar The Last Airbender is the, like, thing that you're aiming for if you're making an all-ages kids show. Yeah. I think that's the, like, needle that you try and thread. The show started a little too kid-friendly for me at the beginning, but it definitely... where we're at in season 2 is really good. We've been really enjoying it. There was the article that Dagon shared. Would we like to talk about that, or do you have more stuff to say? We only have about 4 minutes. We have 3 minutes left, so I think that we should move on to our announcement. Okay. And that article, I don't have enough information. So. Yeah, there's not. Okay. All right. So we're going to talk. Y'all, thank you so much for being here. We're at the end of the show, and we have. Is the playmat here? Yes. Is Fanta here? I don't know if Fanta's here. I don't believe that Fanta's here. And is Cappy Archer still here? I believe Cappy Archer is also still here. Okay, we still have Playmat, and we still have Cappy Archer. Y'all, I don't know. Fanta is not here. Ugh. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, Fanta's having computer problems right now. No, so. How dare she? This is more important than her livelihood. Okay, all right, now. I'm kidding. I love her so much. If you didn't see how much we fawned over her on Wednesday, you can go back and watch that video. Was that only 2 days ago? No, it was Tuesday. Was that Tuesday? Yeah, I can't keep track. She was on the show on Tuesday. We do too many shows. Do you wanna make an announcement? I do. Okay. So this has been in the works for a little bit now. We are going to be teaming up with our streamer friends, Fantaxia, Cappy Archer, and the Playmat. And the Playmat is
creating a one-shot D&D campaign for Halloween for us to play. So we're going to be playing some Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes, we are.
Which I'm very excited about. I love D&D. We are so excited for this. The goal is to stream it on Twitch.
Yep.
Using Discord for camera and voice and everything like that. The combat is going to be a little more theater of the mind just because of the programs it takes. We just want to make sure that the stream runs smoothly. Yeah, but we are going to be streaming some D&D over at The Playmat, twitch.tv/theplaymat.
So...
What?
You didn't announce anything, did you?
What?
When? Where? What? We're doing...
I'm building the tension. We're both going to do the announcement. I build the tension and you drop the bomb.
All right.
I said it was for Halloween, so...
So next Friday...
What?
You didn't say the date.
No, I didn't. I left that for you.
You said so many things.
Yeah, I did. And now people are excited. They're like, "Oh my god, that sounds like a really cool idea. When is that going to be?"
I just love that
you're going to tell us.
I love that you said that we're playing D&D 5 times.
We are.
But you didn't say
D&D.
when. The
D&D is the important part, okay?
Next Friday night on the Playmat's channel, you can watch us play D&D with our good friends Cappy Archer and Fanta. We're doing a special Halloween one-shot episode about a lovely little family who are going on a family vacation, and things get a little spooky. DM'd by the wonderful The Playmat over on his channel. Obviously, we'll be hosting it on all of our channels as well. But please, go give Playmat a follow so you don't miss it. It's going to be a wonderful little campaign. I will be playing the father of the family, married to my wife. Cappy Archer will be the grandfather of the family. And most importantly, and this is why I wish Fanta was here.
Yeah, me too.
Fanta is going to be our daughter.
Yeah.
And so for about 5 hours next Friday night, you'll get to hear me constantly ask Fanta, "Who's your daddy?"
No! How long have you been holding on to that one?
So long.
Get out of here.
I think I think the plan right now, obviously okay, I'm leaving now. Bye, Cappy. Thanks for being here. It's been a good show. TPK incoming? What's TPK?
I'm not. I don't.
Is Mello here? I haven't seen Mello this morning.
I don't believe that they're in the show this morning, but that's okay. They'll get to watch the VOD, or Mello will hear the podcast on his way home.
But total party kill. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it's Halloween. We all,
It's Halloween. You never know what can happen.
Well, no, Fanta will be the last one alive.
I could see that.
She'll be the, what is it called? The virgin survivor, or whatever they call it in horror movies.
Oh, the, trope? Yeah. I'll be the first one to die, obviously.
No. You're a barbarian. You need to do good. You need to get good, son.
Yeah.
I'm just very excited to be Fanta's embarrassing father. It's guys, I built my character last night, and you have no idea how excited I am to do this with our friends. And we're just so excited. Yeah. So come check it out. It's gonna be next Friday, October the 30th. I believe we said 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yep. And then I believe that Matt will be obviously saving the video so that we can share the VOD on Twitch. I'm sure it'll be saved. We'll talk about that. There will be a way for people to catch it afterwards. I might, Matt and I will talk, but I might try and see if I can edit that down to something that's, just cut out some of the dead air, maybe. We'll see. If it needs it, we can take a look at that. But just because it will be like a 5-hour video. Yeah. But we're very excited. Yeah. I have never played 5e before. Yeah. So this is my first time playing this version of Dungeons and Dragons. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Matt and I are on the same page. We're on the same page. we're gonna get this. We're gonna get good, son. We're gonna get good. Oh my goodness. A few other announcements before we jump off today. Mm-hmm. Tonight we're playing Among Us. 7 p.m. Eastern here on the Nerdy Nightly. I might be on a little early. We're not sure yet.
You probably will be.
But we'll be playing some Among Us at 7. Dagon's going to be there. I know Mad Lad Scandy's going to be there. Turf and Deal's going to try and pop in after work. If you would like to join us for that game, please be here. We want to play with friends. That's the whole reason we're doing this. Yeah. Claris will be in the game. We're going to be switching off every few rounds which one of us is on camera because we can't both be in the same room. Yeah. So, you said you'd be there last night.
I thought Phoenix was going to be there.
Oh, Phoenix is going to be there.
Yeah.
Well, you're the Broken Pirates channel.
Pirates will be there.
One of you will be there. Yeah. We'll be switching off so that one of us will always be on camera, but it won't always be the same person. Yeah. We just hope that people join us for that. There's an Among Us video coming out on the Nerdy Nightly YouTube later today to promote that. If you want to see how I play hide and seek, it's a fun time.
I don't know about a fun time, but yeah. That'll go on our YouTube later today.
Yeah, the last thing I played was 3 BlindSeer. I never played 4. I have not played a lot of D&D in adulthood. I played it in high school a little bit with my friends, and but I've never actually had like a campaign. I've never done a full campaign. I've only done like mostly one-off sessions and a couple of like tried and failed campaigns when I was in high school.
Yeah, which happens, unfortunately.
Drifted Normal, that D&D game will be on the Playmats channel next Thursday night. Or Friday night.
Friday night. Next Friday October 30th.
And we'll have like posters and stuff that are going to go out. We're going to promote this. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
And yeah. Is there anything else that we need to...
I think that kind of covers it. We'd love to see you for Among Us tonight. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, although David said he might start a little bit early for that.
Yeah, I might just jump on and do like some just chatting to like
and
warm
then,
up.
We do have another fun announcement that we'll be making on Monday, November the 2nd.
Yes.
We're going to be doing a Monday Mimosa nightly morning show.
Yeah, we're going to get day drunk.
I mean, yeah, we'll have a mimosa.
So you'll be day drunk. We're also, that show's going to go a little bit longer than the normal hour because we are going to play the Newlywed Game on that channel. Some people asked us to do it. Yeah. So that Monday, November 2nd is going to be a longer show, and it ends with a reveal. Yes,
we're going to have a really exciting announcement for you guys. I think that covers everything. I think we did it.
Hey, Pixie. Thanks for being here. We are actually about to hop off.
Yep, we have finished our news for the day.
Yeah, that's it.
And we'll be back tonight with some Among Us.
So, as we always say here, do something nerdy tonight. Bye-bye.
Bye. A slight chance of some participation? It's